What's going on, my ladies? Uh, Today I want to talk about a topic that I think every one of us needs to fully understand and fully commit to learning, and so we can grow, right? For growing purposes. Um, I hope that you are all doing well, crushing your goals, and I know that we are, macro coaching into macro coaching. So a lot of aspects play into macro coaching, right? Me checking over your fitness pal, my fitness pal is so important with your goals. So I hope that you are really tracking all of your foods, everything you're eating, drinking, if it's any calories. But we know that getting to our goals is the most important thing, right? We stress ourselves out, we overthink, we think about everything that could go wrong instead of thinking about everything that could go right in our fitness journey, and it really kind of messes with our minds, messes with our heads. So I hope that this helps. I hope that this video helps you. I hope you learn something from it. I do have my notes in front of me because I have, I've spent hours learning about this myself, taking notes myself. So I want to make this video as quick as possible and as valuable as possible. So stick with it, stick with me, and let's get to it. Okay. So food labels, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now just going into food labels and understanding, right? Like most packaged items have to, they're required by the FDA to display a label that identifies the product. And it did change, we'll get into it. I know it did change in the last year or so to make it more readable for us and more understandable for us, because a lot of things that it used to have was very, very small print. I could barely read it. No one could see it, right? So now they made it easier for us to understand, us to read and see what's on the nutrition label. Let's get into it though. So nutrient facts label is required to display the following information. So first, the number of servings per container, the serving size, total calories per serving, the amount of total fat per serving, saturated fat and trans fat, as well as cholesterol, sodium, total carbohydrates, dietary fibers, total sugars, added sugars, protein, and amounts of daily vitamins. So vitamin and minerals, vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. Wow, that's a lot, right? It's a lot to take in, and it's a lot whenever you're moving through the grocery store pretty fast and you want to just grab and go. You don't want to have to focus and read every little detail on a nutrition label. It can take forever. So let's really get into the keys to the nutrition label, the key facts that I want you to look for in the nutrition label. So some of those, or let's get into those, because I feel like everything is pretty important in a nutrition label, but it could take time, right? And we don't have that much time. We want to get through the grocery store. We want to understand what we're buying. We want to buy our thing on Amazon, buy our thing online, and be done, right? We have tons of other things to do throughout the day. So it could just be a lot. Now, questions whenever you are looking in the ingredients list would be like, what is the primary ingredient in this product? Which item is listed first? And does this correspond with the product actually claims to be providing? So if you think you're buying whole wheat chips or whole wheat crackers, the first ingredient is not whole wheat flour, then you might want to rethink that item. Or, same goes for anything, right? For your pastas, for healthy pastas, anything like that. That's why I always say, and I strive to do myself, to get one ingredient whole natural foods, because ingredients list can get long and confusing, and we don't need all of these things in our bodies. So I'm just going through right now. I really want to get to the meat of this with you so you can understand a little bit better. When I go through a nutrition label, when I am just going through what I want to find, what I think it's, nourishing for me, nourishing for my body, I make sure to look for a few different things. Now, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics recommends that consumers generally choose products that provide 5% or less of fat, so grams of fat. So make sure that it is 5% or less total fat. So whenever you see the big numbers up top, you see the per serving size, and then you're starting to look down, see fat, and if it is less than 5%, it's okay. If it's more than 5%, try and put it back. If it's food for the soul and you really, really want it that one time, then for sure get it. Just your rule of thumb. Just because, our total fat, saturated fat, cholesterol, saturated fats and things like that can be a little bit, it can add up, right? It could be calorie dense, which we know. It could be a little calorie dense because fat is 9 calories per gram, whereas our protein and our carbohydrates are only 4 calories per gram. So getting into that, 5% or less of total fat, saturated fat, cholesterol, sodium. So this is 5% or less of all of these on the nutrition label, and then 20% or more of fiber, vitamins, minerals, which that could be really tricky. So honestly, I just look at the calories, I look at the protein, and I look at the total fat. That's what I look at. If it has no protein in it, what is it serving? What is going to help me? Or is it just food for my soul? Now, if it does have a lot of total fat, I will put it back, just as a rule of thumb. So those are quick fire tips that I wanted to give to read the nutrition label, but I do want to dive in a little bit more. So if you want to stick around with me just a little bit longer, a little bit more. Now, currently, the dietary guidelines recommend that limiting amounts, like I said, limiting the amount of trans fat, such as, as much as possible, right? As much as possible, so such as buying popcorn, something simple as popcorn. We can get a lot more fat in it. So start to pay attention to what you're buying, what type of popcorn, what brand of popcorn, chips, crackers, and look for the one with the less amount of total fat. Now, there are also, of course, there are no established recommendations for the amount of sugar in our day because obviously there is no daily value or percent for total sugar. So prevent daily values are provided for added sugar as current guidelines. So it's added sugar because there are no guidelines for daily sugar recommendations. And I do recommend that the only sugar you're getting in your body is natural from fruits or honey, if you like honey, monk fruit, or stevia. Those are my go-tos. That's what I do. That's how I get any sugar into my day. Now let's go a little bit to a different, we're going a little bit different. And when looking at the label, like I said, there are a number of questions that can go through your mind, but we're going fast. We're in the grocery store, we're moving, we're grabbing, or we're ordering from Walmart pickup, we're ordering from Amazon online, Amazon Prime, Whole Foods, getting it to go. So it's gonna be fast, but if it's something that you really want, you're going to ask yourself a few questions, right? So these are the questions that you might consider asking yourself before grabbing something off the shelf. So total calories per serving, Do these appear to be excessively high? How many servings would an individual typically eat? And does this support nutritional goals? So does this support my nutritional goals? Does this support my goals? Is it food that's going to help my goals, or is this food that's, like I said, food for the soul? That's not really going to push me forward. So total carbohydrates per serving. Is this product high or low in carbohydrates? How many servings would a person typically eat? And then fiber. How many grams of fiber are in a serving? Is this product high or low in fiber? And you could see you could kind of see where I'm going with all of these questions, right? Is this high or low? Is this supporting my goals? 2 questions, very simple. Like I said, besides the total fat being less than 5%, ask yourself, does this calorie count seem high or low for one typical session, for one typical person? And then, is it high or low in fiber? Is it high or low in carbohydrates? In the next one, for total and added sugars, how many grams of sugar and added sugar are added in this product? Is this product high or low in sugar? And how does this align with my nutritional goals? So you see where I'm going with these questions. They're all starting to sound the same, but I really wanted to get my point across, and I really want y'all to understand. But like I said, yes, you ladies by now might know that I do have I have problems with short-term memory loss. So I literally will write down everything. If I am doing anything, I have to write it down, or I'm like blah 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 blah. I'm just rambling on, and there's no point of my sessions or my talks or my videos. So I have to write down my points so that I hit them. I have to write down sometimes all my details just to make sure that I am giving y'all enough value to take from the videos, take home with you, take to the grocery store with you. Okay, now that we're going, one of the most important ones, protein. So how many grams of protein are in one serving of this product, and how would this product contribute to protein requirements? Right? So for my protein intake right now, I am at 150 grams of protein per day, which means I'm hitting roughly 42 to 45 grams of protein 4 times a day, which is a little tricky, but I'm trying to get my protein in. Am I hitting it perfectly? No. Could I do better? Yes. Every week we're getting better and better. The last few weeks I've gotten comfortable with myself, comfortable with my own skin, and the next few weeks will really be counting macros, making sure I'm dialing in, and not just counting macros, but following my macro calculations and not just plugging numbers in, not paying attention and being repetitive, not paying attention to MyFitnessPal versus my macro calculations. So ladies, that's just something for y'all to think about, because I know that some of you just plug in your numbers every day and you don't take into consideration my macro calculations that I gave you. You're just doing what you normally do, not changing anything. So that's another video, but I just want y'all to understand that, going to the grocery store, plugging these numbers in, it's all going to come at due time. It takes time, it takes practice. I fail every single day at something in my fitness journey, and I know how you'll feel. So it comes in due time. All of these practices, everything that I give y'all, it's going to all align one day. It takes time, it takes practice. Now, last but not least, is total fat, saturated fat per serving. Does this support my nutritional goals, or are there any other types of fat listed, such as trans fat? And does this product seem high in fat? If it's more than 5%, might be a good idea to put it back, right? So I want y'all to have that in your minds. more than 5%, might be a good idea to put it back. Or if it's food for the soul, get it and live life. But definitely don't snack and pig out on it all day long. So those are the questions that I want y'all to, understand. Even if you want to go back and write them down, go back and write them down, pause, write those questions down. Does this support my nutritional goals? Does this align with my goals? Is this going to push me forward with my goals? Does this product seem high in, high in fiber, which is awesome, high in fat, which is not so awesome? Okay, so like I said, we went over the ingredients list, and I want to go over like health claims, because some labels may include a health claim which states that consumption of a different product, any product, it may help reducing the risk of a certain disease, right? For example, many oatmeal packages display that as part of a healthy diet, soluble fiber from foods such as oatmeal may help reduce the risk in heart disease. Now, these types of health claims are reviewed by the FDA and are allowed on food labels if there are, significant research and if there's significant support for it. I just want y'all to know this, to be aware whenever y'all are buying something on the shelf that might say it reduces the risk of diabetes or something else that is a disease that can be caused by weight gain, right? And that's what we're trying to prevent. We're trying to lose weight right now, or we're trying to gain muscle, lose body fat, whatever we're trying to do right now. I know that there are a lot of claims, especially whenever you're ordering things online, they can put these claims all over the place. But I don't want that to steer you into buying something that you may not need, may not be necessary. So ask yourself those few questions that I mentioned before you're buying anything like that. Now, let's talk about organic. So what does organic mean? I want to go over it really quickly. So, I want to go over it really, really quickly with you. Sorry. Hallie. Got her. Okay. Okay, so I want to go over it really quickly with you. 100% organic means that the product is the only ingredient to use for this product, or organic products, i.e. Those products using organic standards. So not including water and salt, but other than that, your products have to be 100% organic. Now, when it says organic, the product contains at least 95% organic ingredients, which means that the other 5% can sway a little. And then made with organic ingredients would mean that the product contains at least 70% organic ingredients. So the remaining 30% are still subject to various standards. So, these genetically modified ingredients. Now, I do want to talk about serving size and serving portions. I know I'm just holding her because she hears the neighbor's dog barking. Say. So I do want to go over portion sizes. If you did not receive a portion guide from me, portion size guides from me, and your welcome package and your welcome email, please let me know. Send me a message right now. Send me a message on Trainerize, a DM on Messenger, whatever you have to do. Send me a message. Make sure that you get those size guides, and this will help you so much. I feel like these size guides have helped me immensely in my fitness journey, so I hope that they do the same for yours. You can keep them, use them as you need, but for serving size, for food or the product, it is typically specified, the specific quantity of the food, the packaged food, right? Because my size guide is not for packaged food. My size guide that I gave you was for your one ingredient type of foods, your fruits, your vegetables, you know, your carbs, proteins, and your fats. Oh, she's so sweet. She's just a little crazy. So like I said, this serves as a reference. So the size that it gives you, the portion size on a nutrition label, is just used as a reference for the amount of nutritional content and the value of that food. Now the portion is the amount of food or the product that an individual chooses to put on their plate in one sitting. So the portion might be different. Your portion might be different from my portion versus like my father's portion versus your husband's portion, your son, daughter's portions. They're all different. So just use that as reference. Like I said, put it into MyFitnessPal and you'll be okay. And I think so. In summary, food labels and ingredient lists on packaging, these are important tools for us as the consumer to understand. We want to look at these food labels, these nutrition labels, and understand exactly what we're putting into our bodies and what exactly we need out of these. Out of the nutrition label to understand, because yes, we need our vitamins and our minerals and our fibers, but we also need to understand the difference between our fats versus our proteins versus our fibers, right? Because fiber is high, remember, 20% is awesome or higher is amazing, and then fat we want low with everything else besides protein. And carbs, of course, depending on what we're eating, right? So just keep those in mind. And like I said, follow the guide, follow my portion size guide, follow your also the hand guide that I gave. Also, make sure that you're understanding MyFitnessPal, understanding how to plug in your foods on MyFitnessPal. Once you start doing it, it's very, very easy because it saves all your foods. So literally, all you have to do is click it. If you eat the same thing every day for a week, you just click it, and that's it. So what I do, and what I'm going to start doing again Monday, is actually inputting, or Sunday at night I should say, inputting all my food for the week on Sunday night. That way, Monday through Friday, I don't even have to think about using MyFitnessPal or think about what I eat, because it's literally right there on MyFitnessPal. I'm gonna eat this, and that's it. But I make my own. That's the difference between my nutrition plans, which I do make nutrition plans for myself, or using MyFitnessPal, because you make it yourself, you can make it the day of, and it's easy to keep track of by yourself. That way you're not reliant on having that meal plan, following a strict meal plan, following a strict this type of diet. We want this to be a lifestyle. I want you ladies to learn and grow and understand exactly what goes into your body, and understand how important it is to get your proteins, your fats, and your carbohydrates into your day-to-day lifestyle, as well as your micronutrients, so your fruits and vegetables. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this nutrition label chat, this nutrition label talk. I hope you got value from it. I hope you took some notes. If you didn't, go back and rewatch just the parts that you need to take notes from this. I tried to make this weeks ago. Between moving my camera, malfunctioned, so that's not ideal, but I really do appreciate you for watching. I appreciate you for being my client, being on the team, and I hope that you have the best day of your entire life. Talk to you soon.